Yes! You're listening to live on the coolest of the cool, the Coolly Cool Show. We are in 2022, this new year. And for everybody out there, I hope you had a great, happy new year. And remember, you're listening here live on the coolest of the cool, the Coolly Cool Show. With your host, Brent, kicking it here live on Sunday Night Vibes. That's right, you're listening here live on the coolest of the cool, the Coolly Cool Show with your host, Brent, kicking here live. We go coast to coast, north to south, and yes, maybe even in Antarctica. Whoa, I still can't believe it's 2022, 2022, January 2nd. I hope each and every one of you had a great New Year's Eve celebrating the new year. You know, and especially as a lot of things that have going on in the world. Got quite a bit to talk about, but not a lot to make your mind kind of lose control. Wonder 2022. I'm pretty sure everybody has their New Year resolutions. I hope it's a good one. I hope it's not anything out of the ordinary. So, I'll let you finish listening to some of my beats. Yes, my beats. Yes, you're listening here live on Sunday Night Vibes, listening on the coolest of the cool, the Coolly Cool Show with your host, Brent. Getting here live, January 2nd, 2022. Wow, 2022. Yes, we rock it from coast to coast, north to south, and yes, maybe even in Antarctica. And be sure to follow us on our other social media platforms. If you not already do so, be sure to follow us on my Twitter account at CoollyCool2412. You can also follow me on my TikTok channel. It's called the Coolly Cool Show. Coolly Cool Show. You can also follow me on my YouTube channel. It's the Coolly Cool Show. Also, be sure to follow me on Instagram at Brent_. I think that's how you pronounce it. So it's like underscore Brent the Champ. You know, either way, Brent the Line, the Champ. Okay, there you go. Yeah. So if you've never been already told, you are great. So I hope each and every one of you had a great New Year's Eve, bringing into the 2022. I mean, man, 2022 is here, and by goodness, baby, I don't know. I mean, this is It's crazy. You know, one thing I could say that I'm kind of, let's see, I'm still wondering about. Where in the hell are the goddamn flying cars? This is supposed to be the Jetson era of what many of us out here, not the ones that were born in like the 2000s, the ones who were like 18 and 19 or 20. Some of the ones that are right now in their 30s, 40s, 50s, and this is where we're kind of thinking, weren't we supposed to have flying cars? I mean, by godly, if you had watched the movie Back to the Future 2, I mean, he went into the future and there was flying cars. The DeLorean was overhauled with the new mechanism to, hover or whatever, to fly. And that was supposed to be back then. What was it? It was like 2000 and something. Oh, gosh. I can't remember. 2014, 2013. I can't remember. I know because the video game that came out, and I had got it. It was on PlayStation 4, and it was the Back to the Future game. It was a big stink because it was like 2000 something, and there's flying cars there, and we're in 2022, and I see no goddamn flying cars. But I think that's maybe a good thing. I mean, I think that's probably a really well thing to have people not be able to fly cars. I mean, if wherever you live in your state, I mean, you could judge by as far as how certain people drive on the roadways. Not to say, me personally, I by far know I'm not the best driver. Okay, I'm not. But at the same time, there are other people out there that have their own perks about driving, whatever. Like I said, I'm not the best driver. I'm not at all. But it's a good thing that we don't have flying cars, because people would probably be jacking that up. I mean, there's a reason why people go to flight school to learn how to fly and learn to do the parameters of flying, because they need to learn all what it is about flying, the instruments and the gauges and all that stuff. I mean, could you imagine, like me, for instance, I can tell you right now, if I'm flying a car, I'm going to be lost. Okay, I'm going to be lost. I'm going to admit it, And I go out and I drive on the roadway. I'm paranoid. I get anxiety, and it's not because of the fact it's because I'm worried about what everybody else is doing. And when people are driving, it's kind of like, oh shit, because you can't predict what somebody else is going to do, and you just try to react as the best way you can. Like I said, I'm not the best driver. I've been in a couple accidents before, and it's kind of weird feeling. You just pray that you're okay and you're not harmed. A lot of people are sometimes always stricken with the fact that, my vehicle instead. Look, one thing is, be grateful and thankful, that if any minor or small or big or little of it, you're safe, you come unharmed, and it's just property. Things like that can be replaced. Not a person can be replaced. All right, so just want to make sure. It's my pet peeve. Thing is, remember, those are inanimate objects. A person cannot be replaced. So, but we got a good show, I guess. Maybe. I hope that people are listening. But it's 2022. So I'm going to go ahead and start off. I had looked into space news. Not much is going on in the space news. Man. Not really much is going in there. I don't know what is going on in the space realm. Haven't really followed, but I do know for a fact that they have not, and I'm pretty sure not, sent up those 50 to 60 rockets that they planned on doing back in November, so that way those rockets could divert the asteroid that's impending to hit Earth in the year 2160 to 2170. I'm pretty sure they haven't sent any rockets up there. I've been saying this for the past couple of months on my podcast about this, because it's a topic that you should obviously be, I guess, knowledgeable or know the bullshit to, because they're not doing it, okay? that was, it's all a money scheme. I mean, especially with, the end of the summer with these billionaires all going out and doing things as far as trying to go just the last layer of the atmosphere, going to fly out there. I mean, SpaceX has launched their commercial space shuttle flights things out there, and they've had their astronauts out there. They're doing scientific research. I don't know what they're doing. I mean, they believe they went to the space station, international, the ISS. I guess, you're doing some scientific research. Now, my thing is, I'm very fascinated as far as the scientific research and the science of the International Space Station. Now, for instance, the International Space Station orbits around Earth, and it's constantly falling, but as it's constantly falling, and that it doesn't fall in and burn up into the atmosphere, it has to get, I guess it boosts, or it uses whatever thrusters or whatever to keep it elevated at a certain, in the atmosphere above without breaking into the atmosphere and burning up. But I just have found it very fascinating how it's able to do that, how it's constantly orbiting Earth, and it's so on. It uses its thrusters or whatever to keep it up as it falls and then goes up, falls and goes up, falls and goes up as it's orbiting Earth. Now, as if anyone knows that they built the International Space Station, and there's various amounts of countries that all pitched in that work together in order to get the ISS out there, up in there. It was built in pieces. I mean, that's scientific ingenuity, scientific excellence, engineering, the whole 9 yards. But what I have a question to is that apparently what I've heard that the ISS is still going to be funded until the 2025. Now, I just want to know, I mean, what are you going to do? Just, your lease is up. It's just using for scientific experimentation. So after the 2025 comes, I mean, what are they going to say? Hey, sorry, bro, we can't keep this going. It's going to flow out there, and what are you going to just leave it empty? I mean, that's over hundreds, billions of dollars being utilized, and then you're just going to say that we don't have the fund anymore to do this. You have something that's in there. I mean, that's just like the internet. That's like the space shuttle program. I believe that the space shuttle program was actually a great thing. I mean, it was sleek. It was cool. It was stylish. It's flying out there into space. Like a regular, plane. Then they retired that for the Russian Soyuz rocket ship. I don't get that shit. I don't get it. And the Soyuz looks like a little rubber tin can. I don't get it. But maybe that's me just thinking too much into it. Maybe that's just me just trying to expect more than what is really out there, and to know that, hey, but it seems like we took a leap backwards. And then it always comes down to, we don't have no funding. And in this day and age, I can understand where you're going to talk about the funding, because guess what? Now these days, frankly, no one wants to invest in jack shit at this point in time. There's a lot of stuff going on right here on good old flat Earth. No, that check is not flat. Around global Earth. A lot of things are going on here on Earth that a lot of people are averting their attention to. A lot of people is not really concerned as far as this, because they're like, you know what? Space is there. Space is up there. We're not really concerned about it. It's going to take time. But a lot of these big tech companies, big space programs, they need people's money. They need investors to invest in their space programs in order to fuel things. Now, a lot of the pitch has been with other countries now getting on board with the whole space program, and now them doing their certain things and tactics on how to do it. Because I honestly believe, if you think for 1 minute that with these space programs from each one of these countries, you don't think there's a little trickery, a little deception in order to get funding to fuel their projects in order for them to continue, or kind of, hey, we're going to continue, but it's going to take some time to drag the process out. Now, I've said this beforehand, that what you'll typically see with a lot of some of these things, and this is what I call is that the ultimate, probably the greatest scam, and these scamsters are done by these multi-million-dollar corporations and or governments that are doing these things. What they don't do is just, hey, the projector says, when is this space thing that we're looking for is, when is it going to be done? Oh, it's going to be done, and we need a 5 to 10 year plan in order to get this done. Within the first 5 years, we'll have the blueprints, the planning, the research all done, and then the next 5 year, which is that 10-year part, because hey, we're going to need this and able to get things. We can start the construction of all this stuff, and that's when most of the companies, like, they'll pitch their idea to the government or these certain contractors, these engineers, whatever. They get this stuff going, and what will end up happening is that it will get to that 10-year mark where it's already supposed to be getting ready to unveil and be operational, and then it's going to hit something in the stuff. It's like, hey, we anticipate a lot of setbacks on this and that, and we're going to need a little bit more time and a little bit more money. And they're like, okay, cool. So what do you need? Well, we're going to need some more money. And it's going to be the range of this, and it's going to take a little bit more time. How much time we're talking about? Anywhere between 3 to 5 years. And that's just, things. So now you spend certain X, Y, and Z money, and then the time of that to get there. And now it's about 15 years that has been heavily invested, and then next thing you know, something else will come along the way, or somebody will take over and says, we're going to put in a little back burner, we're going to focus on this now. We got this setup established, we're going to keep this piece of the pie that's going to be utilized for something when we need to get it hooked up or link it back up like a puzzle piece. We got this part of the puzzle built, but guess what? It's not meshing with the other side of the puzzle is. But we got it already made. We just right now focus on this part right here. Now, that's kind of what the space programs, these things do, is that they'll build shit and have stuff up, and then they won't be connected from one side to the other side, and then be like, well, we got to build the middle. Be like, yes, you got to build the middle, but then those devices, we still got to work on the right side, we still got to work on the left side. And so when you kind of work as the pieces, it's like, hey, just fill in the middle, but yet it's not filled in the middle. It's kind of edged around surfaces, and the middle pieces are probably the most hardest part, because if anybody's done a puzzle growing up and you put the pieces together, what does you typically do in order to try to solve the puzzle? You start finding the edge pieces of that puzzle, and you try to get the picture of that puzzle. And then when you start putting the pieces together from the outside to the inside, then you actually start to get a little bit more better. But those are the hardest parts. And that's what some of these space programs are doing. But some of these space programs are doing, like, where's this piece? I don't know. Be like, what you doing, man? Be like, I don't know, somewhere. So, I mean, that's just one little part that I was bringing up about this. I mean, eventually it's going to happen. Eventually these things are going to get done. I mean, obviously you have SpaceX that's done great wonders as far as the reverse engineering of a rocket. I still don't understand the whole entire principle. Maybe it's because they plan on going to Mars and they want to land because they don't know the surface conditions and surface texture as far as what they're getting the data back from the Mars rovers on Mars. So they need a reverse engineered rocket to land in invert, and then to take off in an invert, which you would have to have tons amounts of thrust and a lot of fuel in order to do so, which I don't understand. Well, we can't harness that much power. I mean, we can harness it here on Earth, and we can do everything we can here, but at the same time, we're doing it on unknown, you could say it's studied, but yet we studied it, but at the same time, it's completely different. This is another area. This is a planet no human beings has ever been to. So we've tested everything here for the conditions and the moderations here on Earth. So we have no idea how this stuff was actually made. But they're like, we have millennia things. Yeah, that's different. We're doing a reverse rocket that lands inverted. There's a lot of things into it, but I'm sounding like a nerd. So we're gonna kind of move on from that. What I really, really wanted to talk about is that alien news. Alien. Yes. Yes. And the reason why I bring up as far as the alien news, the alien buzz, is because at the beginning or at the springtime era, everybody was up in arms, the whole science community, the whole conspiracy theories people, the UFO community. Everyone was up in arms, holding hands, singing Kumbaya, goddamn Kumbaya. Because the Pentagon, the United States government, the Pentagon was going to release, its reports about alien findings and aliens, civilization, things like that, whether or not they were confirmed or not. These UFOs, flying around, these unidentified flying objects. They're going to release the information on this, and it was going to grasp the people's attention worldwide as far as what it is. And so many people were so in tune for it because they gave the pre report, which is, if you follow my podcast and follow what I had said about it, they were going to just give them a generic kind of answer. They weren't going to divulge too much to it. And then when I told you, say, wait till that report comes out, the official report comes out. And when the official report came out in the beginning of the summer. And the official report was exactly what I had predicted and what I had said on my previous podcast leading up to the actual official report being released by the Pentagon, and that was the regular generic answer. They didn't divulge jack shit. They didn't talk about jack shit. They weren't worried about shit, and they weren't going to give the people jack shit. And people's like, oh, but it wasn't. And you notice how all that fell by the wayside, and everybody just kind of like, oh, we're not talking about it anymore. But as you see, there was tons of alien shit talk and tons of people talking about alien, this and that, things going on. It was media, the social media, things were talking about aliens and crafts and all this stuff. And then as the summer dwindled away, people started not talking about it. They left it alone. I mean, we were just hot and heavy about this whole situation. There was documentation, there was documents, there was video footage, and it was all on the media. They were like, we don't know what this is. And then after that came out, they was like, okay. It was like people were satisfied, but I don't think people were satisfied. I think certain areas were like, they gave them the report, now they need to leave us alone, they need to shut the hell up and just move on from it. I mean, and it seemed like everybody was so willing just to go along with the whole process, and that just like, oh yeah, okay. It is what it is. But, I mean, it just boggles the mind because, let's put it to this way. If you remember back in 2019, I believe it was 2019. Yeah, it was 2019. Do you remember when there was a mass social media outlet that was saying that they wanted to know about aliens, they wanted to know about the UFOs, and they were willingly, people around the world were in on this by a social media site. They were like, we're going to Area 51. We want to find about them aliens. We're going. And they were talking all this thing about storming Area 51 that we're going to talk about. They were going to go find out. And the Area 51 and their facility there was told, which, they eventually said, hey, we do exist here. And Area 51 went on high alert because people were really talking about going to Area 51, storming the gates, coming in to find. Now, in the end result, none of that happened. There was no storming of the gates. There was no rummaging. There was no running in. None of that. There was none of that. It was a big whole talk. There were some people that came into Nevada to see what was going on. But I mean, this just soared for huge amounts of money and tourism attractions for the state of Nevada. Nevada got a huge boost in profit of it because they got more people coming to the state, and then the sales for tourist stuff went up, and they was living large. They was like, oh wow, snap. So they got a huge revenue boost for the entire state. Now, that could be posed as far as a mass thing to get, huge sales. But the government in Area 51 took it very seriously as far as what was, And then toward the end of 2019, they were slowly hearing about this coronavirus, the COVID-19, but not many people were taking it serious because not many people were knowing about what was going on. People heard it as, hey, that's an Asian thing. It's all happening in the Asian peninsula and area, so it's like not really to worry about. But then what ended up happening come January, I'm gonna say it right there. I'm gonna say it like this. I'm the only one gonna say it. Right after the Super Bowl. Right after the Chiefs won the Super Bowl, then all this coronavirus, and matter of fact, right after the Super Bowl, and right after the first match with Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder, then it was like, oh, COVID-19, it's done came, and lockdown, mandatory mask, and everybody went into a complete frenzy. And like I said, this time we're in 2020. And things are popping off. Things are going crazy. 2020 was like boom bam, zidiga zam. And I mean, it's hot topics. You couldn't go anywhere without, standing 6 feet distance from somebody, wearing your mask. People weren't serving you. You couldn't do it. Toilet paper was such a hot commodity in 2020. Sales went up for toilet paper. Stuff to wipe your booty. Toilet paper was up in arms. I mean, you literally had stores having to limit the amount of sales for people to purchase toilet paper, because guess what people were doing? People were taking it like it was a doomsday effect. 2020, ladies and gentlemen, was completely off the chain. Like I said, toilet paper was at an all-time highs of sales. People were fighting in your local Walmart for toilet paper. Lines was out the thing. I mean, it was crazy. Things was just... And I'm not gonna lie. I literally, I can remember when it was mass mandates all over. I went to one of the convenience stores, and I'm going to the convenience store, and I'm at my car. As I'm sitting in my car, I see this guy go into the store wearing a full-on gas mask. And I'm like, okay, you're wearing a full-on gas mask. And he knew he was doing it, but he was doing it on purpose. And I just was busted out laughing. I was like, okay, I got my little rinky-dinky hospital mask, and this guy got a full-on, military Draeger system mask on. I'm like, okay, this is, at this point, got crazy. Now in our society, it's socially, am I saying socially? Am I saying it right? Now it's socially acceptable to wear a mask. When just a couple of years ago, if you were coming into a store, a convenience store, whatever, wearing a mask, more likely people's like, this motherfucker about to rob this shit. Am I not lying? Now it's socially acceptable because people don't spread your germs. Don't spread the COVID-19 to me. You're probably carrying it and you're spreading to me. And the CDC, stop the spread of the coronavirus. Wear a mask. Wear more than one. Wear two. Wear three. Hell, put yourself in a bubble. Wear all this, man. Do you not see the level of this, what's going on? And then on 2021, COVID-19, with the year we just got finished, it was kind of, trying to get things back on track, get things back going. The mass mandates across, things were happening. Vaccines now were a mad thing people was trying to get vaccinated, and a lot of the local governments and wherever you're living, your state, you're trying to get the people vaccinated. Then you had the vax versus the unvax. You had people fighting, you're not going to vax me. They're putting chips in all of us. And it was like, really? And for one, I'm going to tell you right now, when I heard that, they were trying to put microchips or nano microchips, whatever, into each and every American citizen through the vaccine. I was like, that's completely stupid, because any person that's been in the military will tell you that majority of the military equipment, as far as certain equipment, that shit breaks down on the regular, and the shit half the time don't even fucking work when it's supposed to work. All right. More sometimes you have to clunk on that bitch, and you're probably pulling hair because the shit don't work when it's supposed to be working at a certain point in time. And like I said, people was like, "Oh, they're trying to euthanize us all," but yet they was given the vaccination, and the people that could qualify for it were elderly people and your first responders, people who had essential job and working in the essential job parts, you know. So you're going to try to euthanize those personnel, the ones that got the gears grinding and moving, getting the clocks and everything started. You're going to try to euthanize. It doesn't make sense. But you know what? You have people having certain information that's misinformation, that's bad information. But, you know, some people just don't understand. They just constantly hearing things, or they're watching these movies and TV shows, and they're trying to make that shit become a reality. You know, I mean, it is by far 2021 was kind of the realm of, you know, all types of conspiracy things that can come out and anything. And I've already gave my spiel as far as the vax, unvaxxed, get vaccinated, don't want to get vaccinated. I've already talked about my spiel. Like, if you don't want to get vaccinated, you don't have to get vaccinated. That's your choice. But guess what? I told you what happened. If you get the full run of the virus, then that it is what it is. You know? If you want to get vaccinated, get vaccinated, you know, and it's your choice. You know, and the thing is, we're trying to protect people. But then guess what? In the end, toward the end of 2020, toward the end of 2021, the year we just finished, man, if the COVID Omicron was going out with a bang, it was like dude in the nightclub just socking everybody in the jaw and just going and running amok. You know, the COVID cases went up, and I mean, it was soaring. And we're here still. We're in 2022 right now, and the cases for the coronavirus, as far heard, is soaring because of Omicron. You know, we had the Delta variant, which was just toward end of summer. They said be looking on for the Delta variant. Or this Delta variant. Now it's the Omicron. Am I at least saying it right? I don't even know. But that Omicron is coming full scale. So I don't know. I mean, whew. And now we're into 2022. So, hold on. I'm going to go take a quick break. I'm going to go get something to drink. Then we're going to be back for some more we'll talk about, you know, what's going on as far as everything. We're going to get back to some alien talk, too, along with some COVID. It's fine if I can find any space news. And I want to know what your guys' New Year resolution is. I'll let you know maybe if I'm trying to think of my New Year resolution. But, yeah. So, stick with us. Like as always, I'm going to go get something to drink. And you guys just stick here. We got some more of the coolest of the cool show coming up here on this new year on Sunday Night Vibes. So stick with us. Be right back. All right.
Come on. 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 Come on.
Yep, we're back here, live on the Coolest of the Cool, the Coolly Cool Show, here live on Sunday Night Vibes 2022. Yes, January 2nd. Yep. And if I haven't told you already, be sure to follow us on all our social media platforms. You can follow me on my Twitter account, CoollyCool24. So if you can also follow me on my Instagram, Brent, the line below, the champ. You can also follow me on my YouTube channel and TikTok channel, both labeled the same, the Coolly Cool Show. My podcasts are automatically uploaded to my YouTube channel. And if you miss it, you also can hear us on iHeartRadio, Spotify, and Google Podcasts. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Alright. Alright, so we're talking a little bit about as far as what's going on. A lot of things. I mean, a lot of things has to deal. A lot of things going on is because of the whole COVID-19, the coronavirus. You know, I mean, at a point in time right now, people are, the vaxxed versus the unvaxxed. And I had said a long time ago, I think I had posted on one of my YouTube, my TikTok channel. I posted on there and I said, is 2020 a social experiment that, Area 51 had done? Because they're like, oh, you guys want to try to overrun us? You think it's a game? You want to find out what we're doing here? You want to know what we're experimenting? You want to know our secrets here at Area 51? Well, guess what? We have a game to play with you. It's going to be called Enjoy These Couple of Years, dealing with some social experiment, and we're going to do an viral infection. How about that one? Yep. You never know. Does anybody really know what the hell, goes on in Area 51? I don't know. Is it really going to bother me? No. Do I think that it's very secretive on a lot of things? Yeah, I guess. Whatever floats your boat. It's like space. Somebody says, man, this is pretty cool to know about the planets and the stars and the quasar. Somebody says, don't you want to travel up there? What am I going to do? Why do I want to travel up there? It's going to take a long time to get anywhere. This stuff seems pretty cool, but at the same time, I'm not trying to travel the stars out in outer space into the infinity of blackness. Because that's what it is. Once you cross over out of the atmosphere, oh yeah, there's not seeing any stars, and you're not going to be like, oh yeah, look at that. No, it's the infinity of blackness. And how you have a direction to go anywhere, don't even know. I guess you see something, a shiny star, maybe that you think is shiny, but it actually might be a planet. Who knows? But infinite blackness, yeah. Somebody says, yeah, we'll pay you we'll pay you like $100,000 to go travel into space. Yeah, I'm good, bro. I'm good. You might go ahead and do so because you sit on that 1 million fuel gallons of space thing, and then something wrong comes up, and then that's your ass. Don't sit there and say, oh, why? Why me? Why? Well, I can tell you why. Because they're not going to pay you that $100,000. They're going to be like, oh, we just don't know what happened. We lost communication, and then it just kept floating out to the infinity of blackness. Is there any rescue mission in place? No, we can't find it. Like, what? You said that awfully quick. What are you talking about? So, I don't know. I'll stick with trying to figure out as far as the cause and effect of why people, which I think is my way of saying is from talking about this, is that the fact that Area 51 is getting revenge on all of us. As far as the fact that they were like, don't mess with us. trying to say you're going to try to storm us and thinking there's not going to be repercussions, because we'll make this repercussions on a global scale. And this is exactly what Area 51 did. They said we'll make it on a global scale. Okay, that's what we'll do. That's what we do. Okay. Yeah, and they could have done it that way. I mean, or as the most, people at Area 51, they're probably making some tennis shoes. We thinking they're doing this experimentation with the aliens, and they're really just making some tennis shoes. You look at your feet, and I have a little symbol on the bottom of it that's just kind of an emblem or marking that says Area 51. You be like, nah, man, there's no way Area 51's making my shoes. Ah, yeah, they are. They just didn't tell us about it. But, whatever, whatever. I mean, there's so many mystery things going on. Also, by the way, I'm interested in if anybody's investing in crypto. If anybody's investing in crypto, definitely would like to know what you think about investing in crypto. I know it's a big thing. A lot of people are affecting it. A lot of people are starting to try to get into the Bitcoin thing again. I know it was hot when it first came out, but a lot of people are trying to do their own research in reference to it. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you're interested in. How does it feel to be in that? I mean, do you think there's a kind of benefit to it or not? Just kind of quite curious with that. So, and we've come to the end of our first episode for 2022 here live on the Coolly Cool Show with your host, Brent. Man, this new year, 2022, and some people say I'm not happy. You just have to be grateful and thankful for a lot of things. Like I said, we're all here on this planet. We all have to get along. We all have to figure out a way and solution to move forward. That is the most important part. So, like I said, we're coming to the end of the show. If you haven't already, be sure to follow me on my other social media platforms. Be sure to follow me on my Twitter account at CoollyCool2412. Follow me on my Instagram page at Brent the Champ. You also follow me in my TikTok and YouTube channel, both named the same, The Coolly Cool Show. My podcasts are automatically uploaded on my YouTube channel. So if you missed any of my podcasts, be sure to follow me on my YouTube channel, and you can listen to some greatness there. Yeah. So here, live on Sunday Night Vibes, we kick it here from coast to coast, north to south, and yes, maybe in Antarctica. And if you're in Antarctica and you're listening to us, let us know how it is down there. If it's cold as hell, probably is. But other than that, I want to wish everyone a happy and safe new year. And if you have any resolutions for this year, New Year's resolution, follow them to your T. Follow it. Go after your goals. Do what you can. All right. So, you're to here, live on the Coolest to Cool, the Coolly Cool Show. Your host, Brent. Take care. Bye.